talking about edge play. Myles Garrett has made it to 4 straight Pro Bowls now. He had the most fan votes among defensive ends in the AFC, and he is the first Browns defensive end to make 4 Pro Bowls since Bill Glass did it in 1963, 1964, 1965, and 1968. Take a listen to Myles Garrett on being named to the Pro Bowl.
I'm never going to take it for granted. You know? I don't care how many times I'm in it. So, I mean, I know, Joel has more than me. And I know he's just as grateful or more because all that work, you're just glad that people take it, pay attention to it and really take it to heart because at the end of the day, it's not guaranteed. You might get injured one year, you might not make it. I mean, there's some guys that feel like got snubbed on other teams, and you just never know. So you just be grateful for the privilege to play in the Pro Bowl because it doesn't come around often for a lot of guys.
So to put in perspective how long it's been since a Browns defensive end has made 4 Pro Bowls, 1965 was when I was born. That's how long ago that was.
I didn't know they had the Pro Bowl in 1965. Like, legitimately, I didn't know that was a thing. That was news to me, figuring that out. But yeah, Myles Garrett, well, 4 straight, it should be 5 if he doesn't, end up with that whole situation in 2019 with Mason Rudolph. He had 10 sacks in 10 games. I mean, he was on a roll at the end of that season. Probably would have ended up with 12 or 13. And that's what's the incredible part about this. We need to start looking at this like, hey, Myles Garrett is probably like on his run right now. And honestly, if next year he gets this same number of sacks, right? Because right now he's at 13.5, which is, by the way, his second highest in his career. And he has 3 games left to go. So who knows what's going to happen there. And this is a year where people felt like Myles has been down, right? Like, this is the crazy part about it and the expectations with Myles. Even when he's having a career year, it's not good enough for some people. But, if he has another year like this next year, he's going to be pretty solid in his Hall of Fame argument. Like, at that point, it's pretty much 5 Pro Bowls, 3. He's going to have, 3 first-team All-Pro selections after this year. If he gets a 4th one, that's a Hall of Fame lock right there. So it's funny. It feels like just yesterday we were talking about young Myles and the potential and everything else. And, pretty soon here, we're going to be referring to him as Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer, Myles Garrett.
Yep, I would agree. And you know what? If the Browns' record was a little bit better, he'd be in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. A team that is 500, right around 500, under 500, you're not going to, unless somebody just blows the stat sheet away, which he hasn't done, you're not going to get what you should. But he's had a really good year defensively.
Well, and it's not dead yet. His Defensive Player of the Year argument is very much alive because you have to remember last year T.J. Watt run it, and they were only 9-8. The Browns still can go 9-8, and I think that will be fine. He has to get the highest sack total in the NFL, right? Because that's the one thing that's been holding him back is like every argument about Myles Garrett is an advanced number, and advanced numbers don't move the needle for the people who vote for whatever reason, like sacks do, right? So if he ends the year as the sack king of the NFL and he's the advanced number king, I find it very hard for anybody to make a legitimate argument that he's not the Defensive Player of the Year. So, and he's 3rd or 5th in sacks right now. So he could get there. I think the leader has 15. If he gets to 17, that's probably going to be able to be enough to take it. And I think he can get Defensive Player of the Year if he gets to about that. Now, he could go off, right? I would point out, the quarterbacks that he's playing, Andy Dalton, not really a mobile guy, right? Tyler Heineke, not really a mobile guy. And then whoever Pittsburgh throws out there, those are very sackable quarterbacks is my whole point. So I would not say he can't get it yet. We'll see. He might be able to have an explosion here.